So the playoff finals are now set in the Championship. First semi-final, second leg was Millwall at home to Hull City, and now this was interesting. The first game, obviously Millwall maybe the slightly better side, but Hull definitely had their moments. They definitely grew into the game. They definitely threatened, but it was overall quite a tight, fairly uneventful game. I know they had the big moment was the Millwall goal controversially disallowed, but I did go for a 2-1 Hull win for my prediction for the second leg at the Den, which was an unpopular one because a lot of people, I mean, some people did back Hull. There was, I did see, but overall, big favourite is Millwall. Most people thought third and fourth would go through now. They've both got the draws away from home. They've both got the home legs to come. Their home advantage will count. But I had a feeling it might not be that straightforward. It never normally is. There's usually there's quite often, there can be one big surprise. And like I've said about Hull, when I did the first playoff prediction video, when I said about, their good record in the playoffs, also their good head-to-head record against these sides, it could count for something, and I think it certainly did. Today it certainly did. In that game, I thought overall better side, I think, and definitely the more effective side. And Millwall, like I said, over the 2 legs, I think they'll be disappointed. I think they could have done more. I think they could have. They just didn't really threaten enough in that second leg. I think Hull really took charge, particularly in that second half. When they got themselves in front, I thought, hold on a minute, I'm not sure I'll see a way back from Millwall here. What they needed was they needed to go 1-0 up, like they often do in the league. They often did in the league in that first half, I think, fairly early on. But Hull, once they got themselves in front, I think they could set up to a lot more to their strengths, where they kind of don't have a lot of the ball, but kind of try to be effective when they have the ball. And that's kind of the way both teams like to play. But I think especially Hull, good counter-attacking team. It'll be interesting to see what they can do at Wembley. I'm glad they've got to Wembley. It's a hell of a story, really, from when you think at the start of the season, a lot of people tipped them to go down. And you think the season they've had has just been incredible. Even getting in the playoffs was a massive achievement. Even just getting in on the final day was so impressive from them. But to push on and to go and win the semi-final away at Millwall as well, a team that have been so strong this season, got to 83 points, only missed out by a point on the final day. Just didn't happen for Millwall in the playoffs. They'll be very disappointed after the season they've had, but fantastic season for them as well. They exceeded expectations as well. But Hull, the fact they're now 1 game away from the Premier League is remarkable when you think they've had this transfer embargo, when you think of everything that happened there on the build up to this season. No one would have predicted this. So massive fair play to them, massive well done to Hull City to get into that playoff final. They well and truly do deserve it. I was really impressed with them in the second leg. A lot of people thought Millwall would get the job done at home, but Hull were very impressive there. The other second leg, which was played last night, was, I think, certainly probably the better watch, and maybe that was the case. I mean, a lot of people said it would be. I mean, both the first legs, though, being the 0-0s, it was hard to really say, really, but it was certainly a very interesting game in the way it played out. The first leg, Middlesbourgh absolutely all over Southampton, but failed to have any clear instinct, failed to put any chance away in that first half. Southampton slowly grow back into it and created good chances. They didn't take it their own in that second half, and we had the whole Spygate thing off the pitch with Southampton. The outcome of their penalty for sending a spy to Middlesbrough's training ground is still uncertain as well. I mean, but surely they can't kick them out of the playoffs now. Whether if they have a points deduction next season, whatever league they're in, I think, to be honest, in all likelihood, it will probably end up just being just a fine, which won't really have much of an impact. But it's still, that's going to be an ongoing thing, I think, and a lot of people very unhappy about it. But I mean, it was good to see the back and forth between the supporters. At least both teams seem to have almost made a bit of a joke out of it, to be honest, which was better, to be honest, than anything else, really. But I think that early Middlesbrough goal, I think, was really good for the game. I think the game needed that early Middlesbrough goal, because I think if no one had got an early goal, I think it could have become very nervy, like the first leg, and maybe would have been only a 1-0 game. But I also think if Southampton had scored early, they could have completely took charge at home. So I think Middlesbrough scoring early was, blown the tie wide open, and I think it's exactly what needed to happen to give us the entertaining game that we got. And it was a well-worked Middlesbrough goal as well. I think they started the game so well, and not a lot of people saw that coming after the way they finished the other day and how wasteful they were the other day. To go out and score at St Mary's when they couldn't make the most of being that on top at home, within the opening 5 minutes was I don't think many people would have saw that coming. Southampton was certainly the favourite to go through in that second leg, and I did say a 2-1 Southampton win. So I got the second leg predictions. I got the right results in them. Obviously, I didn't go for an extra time, but I certainly did think it could be a possibility. But I just wasn't sure if Middlesbrough had it in them. But they certainly did very well, and it was a very tight game, and it could have gone either way. And it looked for a while like it was going to penalties. We've not in none of the playoffs in England. We've not had a penalty shootout yet, and it was certainly looking like it was heading that way yesterday. Although what I will say is, once Rod Stewart got that equaliser, and what a player he is as well, surely he's got to be in that Scotland team for the World Cup, surely. But yeah, really key moment in the game, because it just got Southampton just when things were starting to maybe get a little bit worrying. They got the goal they needed. They got themselves back in it before half time, and in the second half I think they started to sort of take charge a bit. They were a better team from that moment onwards. Although Middlesbrough did have their moments, but I did feel like in extra time it almost felt like if Middlesbrough were going to do it, it'd have to be over penalties. They didn't really create enough. I think Southampton were getting closer and closer, and I think that when they eventually found that breakthrough, it was too late for Middlesbrough to do anything about it. And that's the thing. I think that's the congratulations to Southampton as well, making it to Wembley. Back incredible turnaround this season, brilliant form. They're coming into the playoffs on. They're keeping that form going in this game. They also have got that Premier League experience as well. It's worth noting as well. Quite a lot of their players players that are with them in the Premier League last time out. They've still got that experience, that Premier League pedigree. The fact that I've always known them, Southampton, as a Premier League side. That's what they've been for the last decade. They've been good at times as well, up in amongst the Europe race even at one point. So yeah, they could be promotion straight back up, could well be on the cards. The last time the last couple of times in fact they've gone down, I think they've gone straight back up, I think, or definitely the last time they did, at least anyway, a couple of years ago. Certainly looking like they've got every chance to do it now. They'll be the favourite in the final, but certainly a very interesting final. Hull's playoff record definitely is not something to be overlooked, and I think that's been Hull's one of the big things of Hull season. People keep writing them off, and they keep proving people wrong, and I think they'll look to do that again at Wembley. I think that game will be close. The prediction for that will come nearer the time, but like I said, horrible way to lose it for Middlesbrough though, right at the end like that, and this keeps happening with Middlesbrough. How many times now have they had failed promotion attempts and been close but not become a real nearly team, and they've just not been able to get back into the Premier League? They come down the same year as Hull, 2017, 9 years ago. And the majority of those seasons in the Championship, they've been at least up near the top. And quite a lot of them, they've had a couple of playoff defeats now, a few playoff defeats now. They've missed out on the playoffs a couple of times on the final day. It's just becoming absolute agony for Middlesbrough. It'll be interesting next season. Rob Edwards will be going back there with his new team. Wolves, that'll be interesting. I doubt he'll get a good reception. Not having Hackney fit cost them for sure. I actually thought they did well, Middlesbrough, as well yesterday. I thought they did a lot very well. They just didn't quite have enough, and I think if they had made more of that first leg, it could have been different. And I think, again, it's just maybe it's also, I think there's an element of like a mentality thing with them as well now. The fact they've been in that position so many times. That's the worst one so far. They've never been that. That was probably the worst one yet. The way it slipped away from them yesterday, but yeah, but it's a massive winner for Southampton. And they're good like this. They grow into games. They come from behind in games. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the playoff final. So that's coming up a week's time, Saturday, I believe. We'll have Hull City versus Southampton at Wembley, which will be an occasion for sure. That'll be both teams of Premier League pedigree over the years as well, Southampton in particular. So it's going to be an interesting occasion. Looking forward to it. And obviously congratulations to both teams that have made it there as well, and commiserations to Millwall, Middlesbrough, both unlucky this season. I think Millwall to miss out on the final day, being only a point off of it. Middlesbrough to lose it right at the end like that yesterday. That's what happened to Coventry last year in the semi-final. They obviously have pushed on this season, but like I said, Middlesbrough, it keeps happening. It's becoming it's just, the amount of failed promotion attempts they've had now. Their fans have really been going through it, it's fair to say. But that wraps up the playoff semi-finals in the Championship. We've now got the finals to look forward to. We've got the other two leagues, the EFL leagues, the semi-finals of them are coming up. One of them's tonight. That's Stockport Stevenage, and we've got the other one tomorrow night. And then there's all of those second legs are coming up as well. All the finals are on the same weekend, so a lot to look forward to. My Premier League predictions for the second to last weekend of the season, which big games. That will be coming out tomorrow as well. So I will see you then.